Hi guys, have I had a day of it or what? This thing is fighting me tooth and nail, honestly. First job this morning, I mentioned in the previous video the starter motor wasn't working properly. It did. I turned the key and it just went rip and that rip. Stopped. Nothing happened. See, it was the solenoid, and I knew it was the solenoid that was the problem. Because when you put power to it, it did absolutely nothing. No, if it's the motor that's jammed up inside, you'll hear this click. You'll hear a clunk, a tap, or something. You'd definitely hear something. But arcing it across, absolutely nothing. So it's easier to change that than it is to change the motor. The motor's a bloody great big lump. There's only two small nuts on this, and a couple of wires. So yeah, I dare say if I drop that on the floor now and then put it on the start motor, it'd work. But I don't know, I'll investigate a bit more. These are, I know they've got two screws in the end so that you can take them apart, so I might investigate that. I've never done one before. I'll put that on there. Then this video might be a bit mess here and there. I've lost track of where I was filming with it. I've had a proper nightmare. So right, just bear with me. So with the engine now turning over, the next thing was checking for oil pressure, and I'm describing this rather than going. I've filmed all this, and I might put bits and bobs of film in, but it's that higgledy-piggledy because I was stopping and starting and messing around that I'm just going to talk through what I did. So I need to get oil pressure up. This engine's obviously, if you watch the other videos, you'll know this is a rebuilt engine, and it hasn't been started yet. I rebuilt it a couple of weeks ago, well, probably a month, 2 months ago. So I need to know there's oil pressure going up there, and the dash lights aren't working currently. So what I got was a test light that I've put down somewhere there. Oh, here it is. Here it is, Mr. Organised. So click that onto the positive terminal of the battery. In fact, I'll click it the other way around so you can see. Then put that onto the oil pressure switch, and you'll get a light. This is how you can test oil pressure on engines when they're not weighed up. But as the oil pressure builds up, the light will go off. So yeah, did that. Got oil pressure coming up. Looked underneath. There was a great big puddle of oil on the floor. The rubber seal on the oil filter on the top of the big can was pissing oil out straight onto the floor, so I lost. Probably that always looks worse than it is with oil. Probably half a litre of oil went on the floor. So that had to be done. Then trying to get it started, trying to bleed the pump. I could bleed the pump. I could bleed it up with the two little screws on the side of the pump. I'll see if I can. In fact, what I'll do. I've got one here. This is the offending article. Right, we've got two screws on the side of the pump there. I could get diesel up to this one. Couldn't get anything out of this one. And I couldn't get anything whatsoever out of going to the injectors. So, after scratching my head numerous times, I took the head off it to check that there was in there. Yeah, everything was working in there, and it was spinning. And the engine's turning, so yeah, it's spinning. So my conclusion is that there's something, probably the fuel stop is jammed up inside or something like that. So that now needs to go off and get rebuilt. Luckily, I had a spare pump. Now, this pump is untested. That pump was untested, and so is this one. And if all else fails, I've got another one on the floor down there. What's the chances of having 3 bad pumps? So this is where we've got to so far. I fitted another pump on there. I've plumbed everything up. Oh, another thing that was happening, one of the spill pipes was split, so that was puking diesel out when I was trying to prime it. So I've had to do that. And my radiator's got a hole in it. This is the original radiator that came with it, and I tested it the best I could. I didn't have a pressure testing kit at the time. And it all seemed fine, but as soon as I cranked it over and it got a little bit of pressure in there, the fight got a bit of pressure and the weight of the water and all that, it started dribbling out the bottom, so I did expect it, to be fair. I was half tempted to order one last time I put an order in. I don't know why I didn't. I normally do, because they always go. They always go. I was just sort of living in hope, you know what I mean, that the original one might be good. It looks fine, so right. So yeah, I need a radiator. We've had a right mission on, honestly. Yeah, now to the point where I can try and bleed that pump up. Fingers crossed, this one is a good one. Everything's on there, ready to go, I think. Right, so I'll get you on the other little stand so I can put you down here somewhere, and I'll see if I can bleed this pump. Right, I've got you in a rather precarious position there, and we'll see if we can get diesel coming up to there. Or did I already try that? I can't remember, it's been that long a day. I started it, but that was as far as I got. Ah, look at that. Diesel. Come on. I have got a tray underneath to catch any diesel that happens to come out. Come on. Right, so I've got diesel to that one. Come on, don't land in my tray because that's full of diesel oil and everything. Right. Apparently you should bleed to both of these, but we'll see. There's nothing coming out of there as of yet. Got a few turns. Oh, it's not showing anything out of there. Right, there's nothing coming out of that one, so we'll tighten that one up for now, and what I'll do is we'll try and turn it over now. Don't have to do these up mega tight. There's a really fine thread on there, so I'll get all these little nuts and bolts out of the way, make sure everything's safe, and we'll go and see if we can get some diesel coming out of these injectors. Move all these tools off the side here. I've got everything everywhere, so right, don't need to test the oil pressure. If you do take the head off the pump, that's what it looks like inside, and you have these little inside it, but two of them that slot inside the head of the, oh, come here you bugger. Right. Two of them that slot inside the head of the pump like that, but if you pull them, you have to pull them out with some long nose pliers. They break really easy. I don't know if it's just Bakelite or plastic or something, but it's not mega strong, whatever it is. Right, get these wires out the way. Right, just give us a second. I've got so much diesel on my hands I can't even turn the bloody... Right, so I've loosened these first two injectors off down there, just to see if I get any fuel coming through there. I've got my little start switch hooked up. I need to put something on the back of that. It did have a little case on the back of it, but it got broke. Everything's where it needs to be, I think. Let's turn it over. see the little bubbles coming out. Well, if you can see there, watch the get you down there, look. Watch the glow plug. You see it blowing bubbles? Little sucker. Right, I'm still not getting no fuel out of there. There's something's not right here. We'll loosen that one off a bit more. Right, give us a second. So I've started turning it over. I've started getting a little bit of fuel coming out of the injectors. So I'm going to see if we get any sort of smoke coming out the back. I've got a charger on the battery that see how long it lasts. Give it a turn. Nothing as of yet. Nothing. Like I said, I started getting little dribbles of fuel out of the injectors. I just don't think I'm quite getting enough. Now, what to do? I think one of the only things I can do, I've got plenty of fuel coming up here, so there's fuel getting to the pump out that little bleed screw there. I'm getting nothing out of that one. Nothing out of that one. Why would I get nothing out of that one? I've turned the throttle screw, the idle screw in, just so I know it's got some throttle going on. The stop lever's all the way down as far as it'll go. The hand pump, that pumps fuel up to there, so that's working. If I take that pipe off, I get fuel out. If I take that pipe off down the bottom, the return pipe there, I get fuel coming out. So there's fuel going through the pump. There's definitely fuel going through the pump. I've just got to figure out why it's not going to this, going to these injectors, and why. Why? Right, I don't know. I'm scratching my head here, really bad. Fuel would go through. Right, let me spitball and have a good think and have another cup of tea. Right, so guys, this is where I've got to so far. I'm just getting little bubbles out of there now. I'm just starting to, I'll see if I can pump it and see if you can see. No, it's not going to do it right now. And I'm getting dribbles out of the injector pipes. What I think's happened is, because that is the colour of the crappy diesel that's coming out of there, the little dribbles of diesel that's coming out of there, that's what colour it is. So I think it's a bit seized up inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it a few hours. Now that's got fresh diesel in there soaking away, if something's jammed up it might free it up a bit. So what I'll do is I'll leave the battery on charge for a couple of hours. I might even leave it while tomorrow, but either way, once leaving for a bit, leave it to soak for a bit in some fresh diesel and see what happens. Right, so I'll come back to you. Right guys, this is fighting me all the way, this thing is today. So I managed to now get in. What I've come to the conclusion is that the fuel pump is jammed shut. But I've now started getting just dribbles of fuel through and a bit of smoke out the exhaust. So what I'm going to do, I'll see how much water I've got left in the radiator, because I don't want to let that completely run dry. I dare say probably not a lot. Oh no. It's in there. Might have sort of bunged itself up temporarily, because I just had a little dribble. of a leak. So I've had the battery on charge for, well, I've left it for a couple of hours now, soaking diesel. So now what I'm going to do is just turn it over and see what happens. Like I said, I've got a little bit of smoke out the exhaust, so there is some diesel getting through to the cylinders, but let's see what happens. Not a lot. Just tighten that little blade screw up on the side of there. There's nothing coming out of it, but wow, this is frustrating. I don't know if it's picking it up there on the camera, but there are little bits, little puffs of smoke coming out the back, and there's nowhere near enough diesel getting through there. But there is diesel now coming through, which is a good thing. Let's just, what I'll do is I'll crack that injector off and show you what's coming through. Right, this is what we'll get. I've took the injector pipe off there, so this is what we're getting coming nowhere near enough. That is basically just what's coming through off the lift pump. That pump is doing nothing. That's two pumps, two dead pumps I've got that are seized up inside. I've tried all the usuals, tapping it with hammers and stuff like that. You can see with little, I think with little O-rings not sealing properly on there. And I've had to rig up a temporary repair on that pipe there, but that wouldn't affect fuel coming out of here. I've got a set of bleed return pipes, leak off pipes on order, so I'm not going to mess around changing them, changing these washers and stuff until the new one comes. Anybody got any suggestions? Let me know. Mind you, I think by the time I finish this video, I think I'll have it running, but yeah. Right guys, day 2. This one really is fighting me. We're on pump number 3 now. If this don't work, I don't know, because we've got fuel coming from the lift pump, going up to the filter, going from the filter to the pump, and we have fuel coming out the bottom of the pump, the return pipe, but nothing coming out of the injectors. That's on the previous 2. Now I've just put this one on. I've loosened, I'm loosening, when I find out where I put my 16mm spanner, I've just had that in my hand. Literally just had that in my hand. Yeah, I'm going to crank it over and see what we get out of this pump. What I'll do is move the camera around so you can have a look as well. I'll probably hold the camera in my hand and see what we can see. Right, let's try again. Right, let's have another go. I've loosened, well, all the injectors are loose. I've loosened this one pipe here so I can pull it around a bit and see if we get anything out of that. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. I've bled it up to there. Yet again, I can't get anything out of that one. I've never had to bleed that one before. I've always just bled that one, and that was it. That was all I ever needed. But there's absolutely nothing coming out of that one. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Let's try it with a bit of throttle on. Definitely getting a bit more out of there. Sorry, I don't know if you can see. Definitely getting a bit more out of there. What I'll do is I'll nip these 3 injectors up and just leave the one open. And I'll give the battery 10 minutes just to charge up. Right, let's give it a go with that. Give it some throttle. Still the same. Still exactly the same. Right guys, so this is where we're at now. I've tightened everything up. I'm getting dribbles of fuel out of the injector pipe, just literally just dribbles of fuel. But I'm getting a bit of smoke out of the tailpipe, and it did splutter for a brief second. I don't know if that was just because it had built up enough fuel just to make it splutter a little bit, but I'm going to give it another go now and see what it does. I've tightened everything up, so just see what happens. Surely I can't have 3 dead pumps. Jesus. I'm getting... Let's set you off this stand. So, what we're getting, fuel to the low pressure side, nothing out the high pressure side. So it's got to be a internal problem on 3 pumps. 3 bloody pumps. Right, I'm going to have to do some more investigation then finish this video off. I've never been defeated yet, and I'm not going to be, but it's just stressing me out a little bit. What I think I'm going to do is actually order a rebuild kit and rebuild one of the pumps. Never done it before. It'll be a journey of discovery, but sometimes you just don't know till you try it, dear. Right, so I'll come back. Next bit of this video, hopefully we'll be getting this running. Right guys, after all this messing around, I've had a bit of a breakthrough. What I've done is undone both of these bleed nipples, or bleed screws, and blown compressed air straight through both ways. Then rebled it again with the hand pump up to there. We've got fuel out of there, and now I've cranked it over with that one loosened off, and we've now got fuel out of the high pressure side. So let's let me put you back on the stand up there, and now I've got fuel on the high pressure side. Hopefully we might get fuel to the injectors. We'll give it a go. Crack one of them injectors off. We crack one off, see whether we've got anything coming out of there. You'll not see much from up there, but we'll see. Fuel squirting on injector 1. Turn it the right way, it might actually tighten up. Sorry, I know you can't see much from there, but I haven't got the blowpins working, so if I can just get fuel to 2 of these injectors, it will start firing. this. Just tighten them up. Important thing to remember when starting these diesels, you have a butterfly in there. So you need to make sure that that's happening up. And right, what I'll do is I'll give that starter motor a few minutes to cool down. And see if I can get some power to the glow plugs. Right, now I've got pressure to the fuel to the high pressure side. I'm going to give it a bit of glow plug, and we're going to go for a start. I think we'll click that on there, and we'll just give this 10 seconds. And we'll go. Not a lot, get another 10 seconds. Sure if that should glow that much. Well, that's blistering the paint underneath it, that is. Yeah, that's crap. Plenty of smoke out the other end. Yeah, that should not glow that much. Let's check the surf strap. Got an earth from the starter motor. We'll put an earth. Which I'll put an earth from the negative on the terminal, on the battery, to the top of the engine block there. If it'll stay on. Do it. Wonder if the engine's not earthing up properly. Let's try this again. Oh, that should not be getting that hot. So let's see if I can try something that bear with us a second. Right, I'm going to try a trick that I learned a long time ago. I don't recommend trying this at home. But give him the switch. Struggling to do everything all at the same time. Right. Just caught the end of that there, not concentrating. Right, so I've adjusted that up and I've adjusted that little stop a little bit, but I think it needs to go more. Let's see if it'll fire again. show you this. This is going to be awkward to throttle and everything. Right, get my little stand here. Get my little stand. Right, bear with us a second, I'll fire it up and then sweet, I'm happy at that. Well, yeah, she's up and running. Look at that. That's quite funny. So it's got 2 holes in it now. Oh dear. Right, so what we got obviously other than the radiator, we've got the spill pipes. That one's leaking there, and a couple of the washers are leaking as well. I've got bubbles coming out of the glow plugs, and the glow plugs don't appear to be working. So, and the resistor glows belting stupid stonking red hot. So I assume there's the faulty glow plugs. Brand new glow plugs as well. Well, I said brand new. They're probably about a year old, but they've never been fitted. So I will not be able to get my money back on them, but it's just is what it is. Yeah, we're pretty much. I'm pretty happy with that, really. I don't know if I showed you. Let me start it up again. Minimal smoke. Still wants to be. He's at it again. Yeah, he's having a wee. Yeah. Minimal smoke. Still wants a little bit of adjustment on it. But yeah, what a nightmare that was. I'll spin the camera around and I'll have a little chat about it. Well, what a couple of days I've had trying to get that thing running. Let me turn this off. Absolute nightmare. Free pumps that were seized up inside. That one, that was seized as well, but that radiator's up. I managed to free it off inside. What I did was I undid the 2 bleed screws and I blew compressed air straight through it. And at first, on the low pressure side, when I pumped the air through, it wasn't coming through to the high pressure side, and I just held it there for a couple of seconds and then it started coming through, so it's cleared itself, bled through nicely and runs like it does. All for a pump. There's 2 inside the pump. There's like these 2 like really fat chunky stumpy pins. They go like there, and there's 2 rollers and they push against it and the pins go in and out like that, and that's what pumps your fuel. But if they run around like I don't know, it'd be like a cam or something inside. I'm not sure what you'd actually call it, but it runs round and it pushes them in and out like that. But if they're stuck in, when it goes round, so they should come out like that, they don't come out. They just stay there. So it doesn't pump. It doesn't pump anything at all. So it's been left sat for years, the pump, with them on the in position. and then when it's come around to the point where they go like that, they are spring loaded, but they stay there, and but it's working great now. I think what I'll do, I'm going to order a rebuild kit, and I'll rebuild one of the other pumps. In fact, I'll order 2 kits. If I've got 3 pumps, I'll order 3 kits. I'll rebuild the other pump. Never done one before, so that'll be interesting. I know the ins and outs and how it works and the basics, and there's some really good videos on YouTube. But yeah, I'll rebuild them, and I'll put a rebuilt pump on there now. Now I know it's all running, all sweet. That's a couple of small leaks, new radiator, I'm good to go. That's took me 2 days to get that started. 2 days. Keep thinking to myself, it can't be the fuel pump. How can it be? How can all 3 pumps be suffer the same fate? But it is what it is. Luck of the draw. 3rd time unlucky. But it's an education. Learn something new. I want to thank everybody that commented on the last video. I asked about the intro, and the majority said they weren't really fussed about the intro, so I'll shelve it for now. I might make another one or something, just something a bit shorter, a bit less. There was somebody that complained about rock music. How can you complain about rock music? The guitar. You've got to have a bit of guitar action. Love a bit of guitar. Favourite instrument. Can't play it for snot, but I love it. Love listening to it. So. And the tune, by the way, it's on YouTube. It was George Clark Jr. and it was a cover of the Beatles, Come Together. Good tune. Yeah, thanks to everybody that's commented. I try and reply to everybody's comment, everybody that ever comments on any of my videos, even the really old ones from way back when I started. I say way back, it was only about a year ago. I try, if I've missed anybody, I've not commented back, I do apologise. I do try and comment on all of them. I try and reply to all the messages. Got a lot of good thank you to everybody that gives the encouraging messages. Very much appreciated. I'll try and keep on with this, and try and make plenty more videos to come, more Land Rover stuff as well. But yeah, above all, just thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that lot, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Well, more than likely, no, I've got another project coming in. On Monday. Fingers crossed it turns up Monday. So the next video might be on that. All I'm going to say is it's not Land Rover. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.